Hello everyone and welcome back to PSGL F3. We are here for round 10 of the F3 season here, and it is the penultimate round of the season where we might see a championship decided today. We still are in a peculiar position of having Tyne as championship leader despite him having been promoted after round 7 in China. But Keke, who is 25 points ahead of the nearest challenger who's in a position to challenge, Anryu, would have a chance to wrap up time today as long as he's able to finish to gain enough points to head a time, which would be about 6. And then if he is around, I believe would be 17 or so, 18 points ahead of Keke or Anryu after today. You are not joined by Evan this week as he has been commenting over an F2 to help cover, and in his place Tyneman has been able to join us. So how are you doing today?
Yeah. I am absolutely chilling. I'm looking forward to this race in F3. Like you said, it could be a championship decider for tonight, but we do not know that yet. We do seem to have quite the stacked lobby actually. 19 people in the lobby. I think it would be 17 drivers, which is certainly not disappointing. It's actually 19 drivers, which is certainly not disappointing for this time of the year in this game cycle. Dig's already ready. He wants to go and start off this thing. But like you said, in the championship standings, Anryu, he started off really well, winning in Spain the opening round, getting 5 points in Singapore and then getting a third place in France. But after that, he scored 0, 0, 0 and 0 points. And as of recent, only in Mexico he picked up points again, getting a second place. So he needs to have a really good run of form to get some more points. But he did score a podium up in Mexico, which is maybe a little bit similar to Jeddah. Brandon, do you think we'll hopefully, or maybe, see the same thing again?
Yeah, I will just preface Anryu's lack of form by saying that 2 of them races were DNSs as he was on holiday. However, this is going to be one of them weird scenarios actually, because technically 3 of the top 4 aren't able to really go for it. Championship because they've all been promoted to up to F2 and F1. But I think the permutations for us would be Keke, who's 6 points behind the outright championship lead, should be able to pass that as long as he doesn't make 2 big mistakes in the next 2 races. However, it's not a given that he'll just do that. And while Anryu, who's technically 30 points behind, would effectively need podiums. Well, actually, I think he would nearly be out of the running in almost every scenario where he doesn't win. So he will need to win today if he has any hope of getting the championship, as the rest of them are already out, and that goes from anyone who's LRB05 downwards. Although they will have to watch out because last week Benza in the Red Bull, he had the race of his life with the amount of pace he had. As obviously he had a podium in Mexico, but his pace in Hungary was so clear of everyone else. It's going to be very interesting to see where they all stand tonight. But we can imagine that they'll be going for as much as they can, especially Anryu, who would elect. Is Anryu even here?
I have no clue. All I do know is that I lagged out of the session, so I'll be trying to get back in. But if you look at the standings though, there's one more driver that I say we have to keep our eyes on, and that is someone named OP Benza. He's only joined from round 8 onwards, and he got 3rd place in Mexico, and he got a win plus fastest lap in Hungary. So he's done 2 races, both of them on a podium position. The question is now, can he keep that form forwards into Jeddah?
Yeah, and I can confirm Andrew he is not here. He's fortunate since he's missing today. That means the championship is gone for him. And that will leave us with either time or KK winning this championship. However, one of them can't really help their tally. So now we're officially left in a position where there's going to be two championship contenders, but only one person to watch. So it will be a very peculiar thing. And for KK, he knows he just needs. Technically, he can win the championship tonight if he just gets 6 points. And if you go through the PSGL point system, which is P1 16 points, P2 12, P3 10, P4 8, P5 6, and then 5 4 3 2 1. Or sorry, P. Hold on, sorry. I think it's P. Hold on. 16, 12, 10. 8,
I mean, all we
6.
know is that it's not the ordinary points system.
Yeah.
And once we do the maths on what is actually needed, I would like to go on board that the Haas rules should be starting with lap first. I just can't find it. Oh, it is Sancho Wiz there. He is the first person to start his lap time coming into turn 1 and turn 2. It's some of the more slower corners out here, but you want to take as much momentum through there. Coming into sector 1. In sector 1, it is make or break on your lap pretty much. But that is this whole track. Every single corner, it lurks a track limit, it lurks a track extension. You want to push, but if you just go slightly over the limit, your lap is either invalidated or you are in the wall. Sancho is then taking it safe there. Through sector 1, we get a 32.325 as the first sector. It's definitely not the fastest first sector we are going to see tonight, and he even makes a slight tap into the wall there. Still no wing damage for the Haas driver coming into a very quick right-hander. You want to get as close to the wall as possible and take all the curb as you can on the exit. Now coming towards the second DRS straight, of course, if you count the one on start finish with you there. Very quick left hand, I want to get as close to the wall as possible and then merely use that curve on the exit there. Sancho seemed to be on a decent lap after that seemingly slower sector 1. I'm not the one to judge because I'm definitely not quicker than the lap Sancho is going to do, but he comes into the final corner now where they used to be able to be playing some DRS games. I wonder if we're going to see that tonight here as well. He opened up the DRS, Dig was actually in front of that, I missed that, but Sancho is coming towards the line, 28.2, and that is already 5/10 off Dig this time.
Yeah, and that's what I have checked on my maths. Yeah, P5 is what Keke will need in today's race just to seal up the championship, as of the others who win within point range can't do anything because they are promoted. And Andrew, who's the last person who has been in point range coming into today, isn't here, so he can't do anything either. So Fede has a 127.4. And Zane 28.01, Marcus believe with a non-representative time. However, I see Simon here. Where is he going to go? Actually, he's starting a lap, and that's actually just tricked us. Darkest at the fastest lap now of the session. And now that's
you got two people actually with very similar names, you see now. VIR Dark and VRT Dig. It's going to be quite interesting to keep those two apart from each other. We got a McLaren going towards the line, that is LRB. He slots into P8 with 28.3. Coming up next towards the line, I thought it was Keke, but it is not. Just trying to spot someone who's towards the end of the lap. We got Tom in the Ferrari, the FPR member, the Australian. He is a very quick Australian alongside Marcus, but this Australian goes a bit quicker, 27.401. He currently goes to pole, but I was going to say that we had 3 Australians in this there. You got Tom, you got Marcus, and you got Jacob. So it's very interesting to see this Australian influence here in this there, and I really approve of it. Of course, more nationalities, better. And it's also great to see this game get more widely popular across games. Of course, you got to use your fan base. In certain games on PC, I know that the Polish community is blowing up now. Once Atlas comes to the line, he has invalidated, but he would have done a point 0.9 otherwise. But I'm trying to see when Keke is coming to the line, but he has actually abandoned lap 1.
Yeah, he's abandoned his lap. And that's not really something you want to be doing here. Because the pressure on Keke isn't too much now. However, he would want to wrap this up today. Because otherwise then it leaves you in a very precarious position when you need a result. However, maybe let's say the track next week might not suit you. And you're just going to have to be ready to try do as much as you can today, because if you don't, it's not going to look great for you, as it's Brazil next week, and usually Brazil, things can happen and you wouldn't really expect in the usual Grand Prix, so they have to manage for that. And see, most people are back in the pits, others are trying to do second runs. VIR Atreus, which I'm just going to pronounce that way for the sake of it, is not invalid. And you see Benza already over 10th layer, so if Benza is going to continue this kind of form, who knows where he might end up come the next game, because I believe that the next season probably wouldn't start until after a couple of weeks after the new game F1 2023 is released, so probably July. So there'll be a bit of time for these drivers to switch over. However, Benza, this kind of form is the kind of thing you put in the shop window for a higher tier next season.
Yeah, Benza as your driver. Move on, and I've known for a while. I actually had to work with him over at QRT at his previous team. But this Italian, he is absolutely rapid, and he took a break from the game and he's gone back, signed up mid-season. And like I said before, a podium, a third place, and then a win in Hungary with fastest lap even. So it was just utter total domination. So it's very good to see him actually being up there. And people are saying that he was placed too low, but it is obviously late in the game cycle, and you can't just you wish for everything that you want in this case. But let's see who is on a lap here and who is looking to improve. Sancho is out on a lap. And Dick is starting one, but Sancho is currently the one who's the furthest upon his lap time. He is 4/10 quicker currently, which is only seemingly 1 spot improvement. So let's see how much he can improve on it, and if he can maybe jump both of the FVR boys as well, maybe even the VRT man in P7. Let's see what that lap time will be when it comes towards the end of the lap here. Want to keep it short, as close to the line and wall as possible, and he goes only to P10. Indeed, he gained 0.4 of a second, but he only made off 1 position with it. Next up, in the lap is FVR Jacob. He was under threat of his position by Sancho Wiz. He did not get his position stolen, but can he steal some positions from others? If he gains with that 3/10s, like you saw Sancho Wiz do, he would actually jump up towards P2. Let's see where can Jacob find himself. He goes up to P5, 27.517, and that is a very good lap. Second quickest Australian so far.
Yep. Do you want to see what VRT Dirk has got in store for us here? It seems to be on a lap. It looks like a nice stable out, well, entry and exit to the last corner there. So he just launched up the line, up to 7th. So not bad for Dirk. Meanwhile, we'll just have to see now. Another Alfa Romeo is going to cross the line. However, that would be
starting lap.
And he's starting a lap, so move to Keke now, who's also starting a lap, and then to the Aston Martin of Justbrand, who is also starting a lap. So we're going to get a lot of this. Oh, that's actually Zane. Zane has spun round in the middle sector. It's around the exit, the hairpin, and now he's just going to have to slow down to let others through. However, you have to speed up here, just make sure he isn't a blockade.
Yeah, we might as well go on board with Keke, because that is the man. All the pressure is on those markers. Parnell Racing Markers actually jumps up to third. So the Australians are really all fighting close towards each other. But Keke, I did not manage to catch his Sector 1 split, but he can manage it to watch it from here. He does not have a time set yet, so we will not get a delta, I believe. So it's just going to be himself. He needs to push that car to the limits, or at least to his own limits, because he doesn't. You don't want to push your own limits. It only causes a mistake. It's a 1 minute. 0.1 was meanwhile Tom goes to the lead with a 27.238. But let's stay on board with Keke through the final sector right here. He's the man that needs to do it, and if he can get himself in the top half, it would already be fairly nice. Even if he only scores 4 points from here, it narrows him down to only get 2 or 3 points in Brazil. Keke now coming towards the line, taking that short run, goes up to third, and that is exactly the lap that Keke needed to secure his title dreams, hopefully, in the race.
Yeah, he's up to third. That would be enough if this was to be the race results. However, nothing is certain in Formula 1, and well, as Murray Walker said, anything can happen in Formula 1. It usually does. So you always have to bear that in mind. You just don't know what could be around the corner. Although
what is around the corner is Benza, because he is 1.5 tenths quicker currently, and he could potentially be the first person to dive into the 26s. He gave out the blow to everyone. On the first run, he slightly misses the apex there though. Not an ideal final corner. Did that lose him too much time to regain P1? He was 1.5 tenths quicker. Can he keep that momentum with him? He can. It's a 27.136. And Benza goes on top again after all the second runs.
Yeah, Benza back on top. It's the form for Benza that has started to become very, very common. However, you'd wonder what would have happened here if he had been driving from earlier on in the season.
I think he would have been promoted earlier on then, but just like a few others.
Yeah, a good few F3 drivers were promoted to fill up gaps in for F1 and F2. So that is probably the same would have happened to Benton in that sense, considering his pace is Dark has not been able to be his teammate just slightly, and that's all you'd need.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's very good that you can see, especially in a tier like F3, you really see the development of drivers over the course of a season. You see those improvements, and it's very good for them that they can then eventually slot in to tiers like F1, like F2, and eventually just keep proving themselves against quicker and quicker and quicker people. And all of these drivers in the lobby want to probably do the exact same as them. Show them what their pace is, show everyone how quick they are, and show them that they deserve a spot, at least for next game or next season, in one of these higher tiers. But there are a lot of people that want to do that, and a lot of people that will be coming back towards the hype of the new game. So everyone really has to fight for it. And PSGL, they won't only look at pace on that game itself, they will also maybe look at the previous game, or at least the previous seasons. And if you've seen that someone's absolutely dominated F3, you will probably not be put in F5, but we will be seeing drivers prepare now for their final runs. And I think the first person that will be Lewis 11004. I believe he's a member of Parnell Esports as well. So Brandon, take it away.
Yeah, so actually, as we see Lewis about to start a lap here, as he is the only one actually doing a lap, and coming up towards turn 1 here and 2. Oh, that's already gone for Lewis. However, that is maybe a slight sense, guys, because if it was gone, maybe the last sector, the tyres would have been gone with it, but the tyres didn't really get a chance to get going, so I suppose that's out the window for now. However, we are going to be looking at Simon here, who is now ready to do a lap himself, and to be hoping that, well, unlike Lewis, he will be able to get through the first couple of turns.
Yeah, we definitely hope so for the Shizou esports member. Let's see what a lap he can do. He's currently in P16 with a 28.7, so that's definitely not what you want. It could be a bit of lack of confidence here on this relatively newer track. I know Simon is a name that we know for a long time in this community. He's been there in a lot of previous games, and this is a newer track. And I always used to struggle with new tracks, changes, etc. It has been interesting for me, but let's see what his first sector could be. It would indicate improvements or not. He's going 3 tenths quicker, so there seems to be some improvement in there, but he's still got a 7-tenth gap to his Shizou teammate ahead of him, and he's still 1.6 seconds off full, so only a 3 tenths improvement will probably not do it. We will remain on board here, but he does seem to have really steady pace, so he should be someone that we should expect to rise up more and more. Come down the race. Look at the last sector. Meanwhile, actually, you got off the grid there, stacked up, lined up, waiting. And if we actually go on board the Simon, we might get actually blocked a little bit. It is fairly dangerous, but it should hopefully be going all right. I don't think everyone will be realizing that Simon's actually on a quick lap here. There we go, the Aston Martin there, he's not really getting blocked, he's more or less getting a slipstream there, which might help Simon a little bit, give him a little bit of an extra improvement there. It's fortunately enough gone well, but it is a big risk, and 9-tenth improvement from Shizou Simon, bringing him all the way up to P13.
It's an improvement, I would be wondering if that was enough, but that'd probably be it for VRH. Atreus as
Ben's invalidated.
Yeah, Ben's is invalidated. That's him gone too.
That is very interesting. It could really resettle everything for qualifying. Keke is the last person to cross the line, so we will be going on board with him later. Atas was the first person on a lap, and he will choose to not be completing it. He will be passing that torch on to more Juventus Racing Damage. Let's go on board with him and see if he can make any improvements. The track is though at its absolute best, and the gap is only 4 tenths towards pole, so I think everyone could be able to steal that
damage of the port.
Before for damage. Next up is Zane. Let's see where he goes. He doesn't actually complete his lap. You got all those people jumping now, and I can't frankly
Lewis
keep
up to 10th, so
Speaker up into P2. A few more important guys. Tom though, he is going towards the line. He is a 10th quicker. He was matching and battling Benza in qualifying. Can he steal that pole position spot? No, he cannot. He only improves by a slight margin. Keke now, he has given up on his laps, so he does not seem to be improving. We got Farnell Racing Marcus, he's on a 2-10th improvement. He does hit the wall in the final corner there. Has he lost too much time to really take pole position there? He goes all the way up to 4th, but that is not good enough. Tennis Vector Damiano, meanwhile, he is not improving as well. Same goes for Eastbrand and Shizou Simon, so I think that is it.
Yeah, I think that is where we will end up. Marcus did improve. He's up to 4th, and that leaves Keke, a man who can win the championship today, in 5th, with it very much in his own hands now to seal the championship today, but also in his own hands to maybe potentially throw this away. So P5, if he finishes lower, he'll have to come back next week and finish off the job. But if he can get P5 this week, it should be enough. I believe anyways. I will just check for countback's sake. But yes, our qualifying is all over.
Yeah, definitely. But it is only Keke that can screw it up for himself. And there's no one else that can do it. No one else that can fight it. Of course, he can get involved in an incident, but he would be the one taking the risk to get involved in that incident in the first place. It all depends up for him. How much risk do you want to take, and how much risk will you take? It is an Italian front row with Benza and Fedespiga, both drivers from Outplayed Racing, that Italian team that is getting quicker and quicker and quicker, and they produce some mega talents, for example Asakaumi and others. You got an Australian a second row with you got Tom and Bino Racing Marcus, then you got our championship leader Keke up in P5, then you got Damage, Dark, Damiano, Jacob, and Lewis that rounds up the top 10, and then you got Dick, Missipala, Isbrand, Sanchois, LRB05, Simon, Zane, Artet, and Royal Harvey. Who DNF very early on, I believe he should have a qualifying ban, will be starting in last place.
Yep, with a qualifying man, yeah. That is the way it goes. Obviously, you can't really go out to set a lap. You can just, one thing you'll be doing qualifying, zone up your setup, and that'll be it. However, now come the race, it is obviously no formation lap, so we will be in for a very quick start. So I have to ask you, who do you think will win this one?
It would be absolutely mega if Keke won this. He needs it for the championship, but there is pressure on him. I will go for the boring answer though, but not for the boring reason you would think. Benz, although he's starting on pole, that run of form that he's been on, I am sure that he can settle that forward and take another victory home. I think Benza will win it.
Yep, so Benza to win for Theismann. Now, just waiting for the start of this Grand Prix. As you see, the counter is there, and we'll just have to be ready for when that hits the zero.
Yeah, it is an interesting track though, and a lot can happen, and a lot will hopefully happen. It does allow some long DRS strain, so it will depend on who is on a lot lower downforce. But then once again, you could be struggling on it. Undercut here is very powerful though, but what is more powerful is your grid start. Brandon, let's go.
Yep, we're ready to go. So 5 red lights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look but never stare. And the lights are out. We are racing here in Saudi Arabia. Who's got the better start? It looks like Benza's got the jump. On the Fede is actually, yes, so Benza, he has the lead here, and then Fede is second and Tom in third, Marcus fourth, Keke holds it onto that important P5 in fifth.
Where's contact for the back between, I think, Simon and Sancho is at least fully having gone round, but besides that there's not been a lot of contact from what I can see. Benza leading in front of Fede Spiga, Tom, Marcus and Keke. The top 5 has not changed, and will it change soon? That is the question. Damage though, seemingly on the attack of Keke, will run a tiny bit wide. Damage being able to run a lower line and maybe a tiny bit more down for Municipala. Does rejoin the session. He has dropped back all the way down to P17 because of his connection issues. Dick goes past Damiano. Dick is actually on the soft tyres. That is interesting to take a look at it. He is the only person with a different set of compound besides Municipala, but Dick on the soft tyres. He will be absolutely flying through this field, Brandon.
Yep, that choice of soft is odd, but it's working so far. And if he can continue to use these well and maintain them somewhat, you'll be very happy to see him staying has side by side. Jacob versus Lewis, and looks like Lewis has kept that 10th position. As I said, the Mercedes wanted to attack Lewis, but you will nearly, if this was real life, you'd be thinking, what has happened here? As you come back in time, but that's just Brand down the inside and trying to get past Jacob, although his time moved oversteer, which has just cost him a bit. And he has to set it back down into 12th. As he's past Harvey, so moves happening across the grid at the moment. However, it looks like Benza and Fede are pulling away from Tom. So you might have our two race winning contenders, while Tom just heads up the rest of the grid. And
yeah, definitely. Benza has been burning a lot more ERS together with Fede Spiga compared to Tom in behind. It seems like both Outplay Racing teammates are working together a slight bit to get that early advantage going, and I do not think Tom realizes that, because otherwise he would have burned a lot more. Dick though, on those soft tires, really got like centimeters away from the rear tire of Damage when going for a move on dark. He so nearly hit him. I 100% thought there would be contact there, and it would be either wing damage or a car facing the wrong way round. But that did not happen. DRS will be enabled on the next lap, and it will be interesting to see for me if Fede Spiga will be attacking Benzo, or if they're indeed fully committed to working together. Dark though, Dirk actually, he will be gaining so much on those soft tires, but that won't be better for like a long period amount of time. So I wonder what his strategy will be here, and it will be an early stop towards hards, and the undercut there is very powerful, but those hards surely are going to be absolutely ruined, and I mean absolutely ruined in the end. He could be gambling towards a safety car, that would be balls. If he pits towards the medium set of tires later, he does show some really big balls there. But the gap, what surprises me, is only 1.4 seconds between the Fede Spiga and Tom, and there's just a 50% ERS difference, 40% actually, excuse me, but 50% if you compare it towards Benza.
Yeah,
so Tom having good race pace.
Yeah, Tom seems to be thinking of the long game here, keeping that ERS handy, because you would be well equipped to make overtakes then if you can close up a little more, and if you're not trying to push straight out of the gates, you can just bring that hard tire into the race and maintain it over the distance required. So the management here would be key, and it'd be important, especially for those behind him, if he can start to get within the second of Fede. So you see Fede close, but not close enough. I mean, if he had the ERS Tom had, the move might have happened. However, Tom's probably going to end up in a conundrum now, because he will now be close.
That
close.
is a disgusting switch track. I'm sorry to cut you off. Artes and LRB 05 are side by side with each other, and Artes nearly got a fantastic contact. He's going for it again. Another cutback side by side through this section of the track. Surely that will not be going all that well. Gonna go for another switch track. He will go for another switch track. 3 switch tracks in a row. Going for 4. No, he will not. He nearly loses the rear end of the car. Missy Fowler trying to profit from it there. It is switchback heaven.
Oh no, he's going for the inside
now. Artes, knowing that he has got the better pace than LRB, he doesn't have any DRS. He can make as many switchback as he wants, but he cannot get past.
Yeah, he's trying everything in the book here to get the move done, and it's just not working. And he's going to be at risk of being passed by Zapata now, who still has good mediums. So he'll just have to remain vigilant and hope for the next opportunity, which may come here. However, is this would be a bit of a Pandora's box in terms of what could happen. Oh yep, lead's changed. And that's
Spiga going past Benza. It didn't seem like Benza was fighting it at all, but that fairly equal on ERS, and Benza seems to be going back now. Only DRS, no ERS use.
And he's got the move done. However, Fede, he's tried to wait out, maybe get switched back, but looks like Benza's got to stop well, and he's not going to have any issues.
Big contact between Damiano and Lewis. A dive bomb up in turn 1 was the result of that contact. Royal Harvey meanwhile retiring in the pit lane, speeding in the first place. It seems like he picked up damage along the way. Atas has also finally gone past LRB after having to use some more ERS on that straight there, and Dark goes wide and he nearly hits the wall there. Damiano Lewis barely able to avoid, but they did, and Eastwood also goes past Dark, but the gap is now 1.8 seconds, and there's a massive gap in the DRS train, and Dick on those soft tires also nearly already dropping out of the DRS train, and Tom, he is on 80% of ERS, and he's still and he is caught fully back up to the train. Meanwhile, Lewis also getting a penalty, which in my eyes is kind of a bit ridiculous. Dark coming back on track slowly after causing a yellow flag himself. One position illegally gained by Lewis, and he will be having to serve that in his next pit, so that will be very unfortunate for Lewis, but he can't do anything about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes these things just happen, and that penalty probably won't be removed. However, he's going to get that position now, as he's down into the Damiano trying to hang around the outside. That's not going to work, but he's got the ERS to defend, and that move will be done. As I believe Benz has pulled himself back past Fede once again, However, now you just see Damiano, he actually didn't really gain that much. For whatever reason, although it looks like Lewis had a like moment, is he going to be able to go down the inside here? Just not quite. We're not going to get the racing we got with the likes of LB 05 and Justbrand.
Yeah, he's fun. He is looking to be the one to profit from this, but I think they need to work together a tiny bit and get back up towards that DRS train. They're all chilling. Damage is on 100% DRS, nearly full battery. So he is not worried at all by his pace. Same goes to Tom, so the pace is not high. And these two up front are just a bit fighting with each other back and forth. You can gain DRS very easily around. Yeah, that was
Lewis
now.
Another penalty.
8 seconds of penalties. This time it is for track limits. And yeah, track limits are very easy to get here. Of course, at the exit of every single corner, there are curves there, and he nearly loses it fully. Lewis, good save by the Haas driver, but it's very easy to lose the car. And Fede Spiga gets past Benza again. Let's keep on board with Benza. Let's see if he just goes back in front again on the DRS on the main straight. Just using only DRS. He seems to be in a lot lower wings, and Benza's going to go for it again here.
Closing. Or this time, it's not going to happen.
And digs in. I don't think you can make hards from this period of time towards the end of the race. I don't know what this strategy is. I haven't seen it before. He does go on the hards. It must be a gamble towards a safety car. And if this strategy works out, bravo. It's going to be an absolutely incredible strategy if he somehow manages to pay that off. I think he got the pit lane exit line. It glitched maybe a little bit on my screen. But let's not focus on that. We see Palomino getting a 3-second time penalty as well for multiple warnings on lap 7. And I think that could also be the deciding factor here. Also, we see Palomino does at the inside of FBI. Jacob getting another position on those mediums of tires, whilst 3IR Dark has spun. And he's also got some wing damage coming out of that long left end. You want to get a shot on the throttle as early as possible, and unfortunately that is not always possible. And Dark with wing damage now all the way down to P17.
Yeah, it's going to be a long race now with that wing damage, especially how close PSGL tiers are. You just don't really get that chance to get back. It's actually
Sipala.
Sipala, he's gone. And I have to see now what's that wing done. Yeah,
his wing is fully gone.
Oh, and he's
that is
odd.
That is not very nice. And that is the safety car that I guess Dirk was gambling on. The safety car is maybe gonna come out in front of Benza here. It's gonna be very close. Or Fede Spiga, I'm sorry.
Maybe left past.
No, Fede Spiga just about cut past the safety car, and that saved their race. I can guarantee you that right now, because it means that everyone else is going to be on the Delta, and they're all going to be pitting towards a medium tire already. Actually, hard to go all the way. Yeah, so Dake is absolutely chilling on his strategy, but he will not be gaining as much as he hopes from it. Eastman's coming out of the out back on track, fully off the track. But everyone will be on a Delta, and period 1 of the race has been survived by most drivers. I don't think Misipala necessarily helped Keke here though. With having that DNF, maybe not the best teamwork from between both NLR drivers. But at the end, he made that decision. I don't know if he went in trouble too early or if it was a DNF on purpose, but we are not here to decide for that. What we can decide is if damage is going to get held in the pit lane by Benza.
Yeah, we'll have to see that now. Next to Damage and Simon up there didn't really get the chance to do anything, so now they're gonna have to see what the situation will be. Fede, he's in. Benza, he's angled for the pits now. And then Tom,
I think he will be blocked slightly Damage.
Yeah, Damage.
But he might lose a position from Damiano. But besides that,
Simon's elected to stay out.
That is interesting. That will definitely be a game changer. Will he come out though ahead of Fede Spiga? It will be close. Let's see, where's Fede Spiga coming out? There's Fede Spiga coming out. The Siren is just about ahead. And that is an absolute game changer. Simon in the lead now. He will be like a mobile traffic cone. Yeah, especially in that McLaren, he is a traffic cone. Everyone's going to be wanting to go around him as soon as possible. And Simon's just going to be chilling there. And I don't know if he's going to defend for every single position, but he's at least going to be trying to gain time on his competitors who will be stuck in traffic in the DRS lane that he is creating.
Yeah, so this is very interesting now. It's forced strategy to be a little unconventional. But now we're left with, well, actually, Keke is in a net 6th place. That is actually not what he would have been wanting, because technically that would leave him having to get back here next week, get the championship done, and if anything bad happened there, he'd be in a very odd position, and it would be a case where someone who was promoted and race as a goal would win the championship.
Yeah, technically it is P6 because Simon still has to pit, but Damiano actually jumping in under the safety car, and Damiano, Isvan, Dirk, Atis all jump damage under the safety car. So it means that they definitely lost quite a bit with the Delta, so it was not ideal. But the main thing for them was that they did not catch that safety car immediately, because then their race would have been absolutely screwed over. It will be interesting for me to see if Fede Spiga and Benz will be burning a lot of ERS again at the start of the race to attempt to get away from that whole train behind them. If they're going to work again with each other this time, or if they're going to actually turn against each other and try to gain as much from their own benefit. You should be having the safety car in the next lap, because I don't think Sanchez will actually be pitting again, so I think we might be underway in only two more laps.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Sanchez, yeah, you have to see here, he's coming into the pit lane. However, I do think he may be able to catch back up. Saudi Arabia is a long track, one of the longest in the calendar. I believe the only track that rivals it would be Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, definitely. Spa, of course, being a legendary circuit, and this is not yet a legendary circuit, but we've had some incredible moments, or at least notable moments, every single year. Of course, at that amazing battle between Max and Lewis, we've had that qualifying lap of Simon nearly losing it on the, under the safety car. But we've seen that incredible qualifying lap from Max, where he just about DNF in that final turn. We've seen the rest fight between Max and Leclerc. We've seen Schumacher have that heavy crash. This track, it is becoming a track that you have to watch out for, and Spa being on that calendar for ages. They're both very quick tracks, but yeah, you do somewhat see a resemblance between them. Sanchez has gone in the pit lane, and he has actually caught the safety car train, so that means that we will be in this lap.
Yeah, safety car will be in this lap. Simon, he's going to have a lot to do here, and he'll be hoping for another safety car the other side of this race. So
a safety car in a lap or 7 would maybe be ideal for Simon, because he could then hop onto a set of soft compound of tyres, and there would be quite a few people actually following him then, probably. So that would be the ideal situation for him, and I guess he was gambling on that. He was very far outside of the points, and he had to do a risky strategy to get in it. But it's now going to be the safety car restart, and it's all up to Simon. When will he go?
So, when will he go? That's the big question. He's decided now's the time. However, it looks like Fede, he's stuck with him really well. That's a great... Oh, he's actually passed before the line. Oh, he's had to let him back. And that's lost him the safety car restart of dreams. So now Benz has been allowed back with him.
Oh!
However, this time, he's got the place.
That is a very good move there from Fede Spiga, and everyone else is now going to be stuck behind Simon in his long...
Atris has gone round, so we'll just cut to him there for a second. But now we're probably going to see Benza. He's going to make his move, and he's got it done before the braking zone. He'll be able to focus and get that perfect apex. And next up here will be Tom to try and make a move. And you see how close he is. He's not using any ERS. However, he feels probably that the pace he has would be enough. And you just see now he's going to burn some. And then you see closing. And
It is an interesting moment. Spot to overtake
oh,
without
he's going to
ERS
do it.
though.
And he's got done just before the braking zone. So there wasn't any side-by-side action. And now next thing, Marcus, he's made his move. That's Lewis. Oh, that could bring out a safety car again, and it has. Simon may have to...
The question is, will Simon pit, yeah?
Simon's going to have to bail for this one anyways.
Yeah, and Lewis has popped off his right front wheel, which means that he indicated, or he hit the wall in a strange position. Simon now actually heading into the pit lane. To change those tyres, Lewis then, and having that DNF of course not ideal for him. It was ideal that safety car for Atlas because he lost a lot of time and momentum here, but he's now back in the DRS train, and we got 2 more laps of safety car. And it's a bit like what they always say in NASCAR: cautions breed cautions, safety car cause other safety cars to happen. And it happens here. The whole field was close to each other. You want to push to make those overtakes. And maybe on a slightly cold tires, you make those mistakes. Or maybe a little bit of over push tire. Those medium tires have a lot more grip than you would expect compared to those hards. But once you go on there on the first push lap, it is always a bit tricky. And that is the favour that Lewis pulled. He pulled the short straw, and he was the one that DNF'd as a result of that. Keke still in P6. It's a good position to keep his championship hopes and dreams there, and all ready to go. They might actually be watching and sitting here and hoping that Keke will actually score a bad result so he can maintain his championship lead and maybe even his title. It would be impressive to win a title at that stage.
Yeah, Zitine is the only person now who can stop Keke from winning the championship, because Anmiu isn't able to challenge because he's not here, and while everyone, those behind Keke who are also heading to be ahead of Anmiu are, well, they also got promoted, so they can't really do much either. So now it very much is a Tyne versus Keke battle, but it's going to be basically Keke playing in single player mode to try and beat Tyne's high score, as opposed to multiplayer mode is them trying to basically knock down the health bar until one of them's out.
Yeah, but he's not necessarily playing single player because he's still playing against a lot of other online people. Dark and Atlas are actually in. Dark, it is his AI deciding to make a pit stop. Atlas deciding himself he's going to make a pit. Oh, the AI of Dark have just put him on 7-lap old hard.
That's not a good idea.
That is a mare. That is not something you would like to see. Atlas then, he's the smart one going on to. Did he just take him in the pit lane? No, he didn't. He has to let him through. It's nearly some smart game played there by Atlas. Getting his, not his actual teammate, but his esports teammate, nearly into the pit lane. But Dark will be in a lot of trouble. They will catch the safety car. Dark now being back in the lobby, seeing that he's on those stinky tires. He would love to go in the pit lane now and swap them out, but the safety car, knowingly, will probably go in this up.
Yeah, probably will be in this laps or the next. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what will happen.
Yeah, and it's just waiting now. Everyone's preparing the tires. It'll be interesting to see if Federico will start that safety car restart on the same spot as Simon did, because he profited a lot from it last time. He saw that it was a bad point to do your safety car restart at, because you can easily take someone just after the line, or even if Federico's case, before the line. Which it would have been very cheeky from Simon to just slightly lift so you can overtake him before the line. I don't see that not being allowed. I haven't read the official FIA license book on it. It does say that you've gone significantly slowed down, but if you just slightly lift them and say it's significant. But we move. It is only one corner, which makes it interesting to see where you could go. It's just intense warming up of the tyres. Fede Spiga in third gear. Doesn't really seem like he's going to go for a quick acceleration. Swapping between second and third now. Going ready. I think he's going to go near towards the line there. In a high gear, obviously going to accelerate. There we go in fourth gear, but Benza is very awake, and he's immediately hoping to go for that move, unable to. It is a good reaction. Keke is alongside Damiano. He wants to be making some moves.
Trying to get around the outside here. He's actually done it. He's got Tom. Tom's down to fourth. You know, Keke, he's not really been able to do much either, although Damiano, he's going a little off track. If Keke could just line this up, next up the corners, he might be able to go for that P5 he needs. And now just watch what Keke is doing. However, he's going to have a lot of cars behind him too. If Jusbrand starts to get involved, he could really get shuffled back down the pack. But the more he gets shuffled down, the more he needs next week, and he doesn't really want to be having to try to do it next week when there's all or nothing.
That is why he's trying to go for that move into turn one after safety car reset on Damiano, but Damiano instead was able to look for an opportunity to actually take a position. But the only person that really took a position was Marcus on that opening lap, and he's having to burn a lot of ERS to keep up with Fede Spiga and with Benza. They're taking the same route, burning a lot of ERS, trying to get out of the DRS here. Benza taking a very wide line there, not wanting to overtake Fede Spiga, I think, on this lap. Which is interesting to purposely do so and burn more ERS. I wouldn't necessarily have done that myself, but the speaker is already flashing because he burned the maximum amount he can use on one lap. Fast lap immediately goes to him as well, 30.7. He started off going slower on the start of the lap. That just means how high that pace was that he was driving with. Now let's see, it is dirty air, so Benz will be probably dropping back a slight bit. Importantly for Marcus is now to remain in that DRS train. And Keke seemingly just shedding with 80% of battery, so he is ignoring what's all happening in front, and he is deciding to fight his own game and not necessarily go in an immediate attack towards Damiano.
Yeah, Keke is full focus because in all that safety car stuff he lost the P5 he was holding. And it's much like Hamilton 2008, you just need the P5. It doesn't really matter what else. Obviously 2007 he needed the P5, he didn't get it. 2008 he had the P5 most of the race, slipped away, but he got back at the last possible moment. So in 2009 Jenson Button needed a P5 and he was able to make a comeback for P16 to get it. And for like Keke here, you're in P6, you don't need to come back, and realistically you've got 10 laps to go and make a move somewhere. However, that's going to be difficult because it doesn't look like he's able to get close enough to Damiano at any point in the track. As you see, he is closing in slightly now, but it's just not enough.
Who also don't seem to be going quick enough are both the OP drivers. 11% of battery, 5% of battery. Marcus on 25% battery and Tom on 40. Marcus just sees both cars ahead of him just constantly flashing, and Marcus knows, okay, I can burn some ERS to get back in there. I just need to get in that DRS train. And Tom is like, go on Marcus, pick up that pace and do it. Then Fede Spiga's in the wall. He has absolutely been there. He has spun. I don't think he's got wing damage. Damiano Mimo has got a penalty. It brings Keke into the perfect position to bring home and pick up that title. And it's just all swung towards Keke. And this race has broken up from the lead. Fede Spiga being a bit too aggressive, wanting a little bit too much, making that mistake and dropping back towards P6.
Yep, it's all went wrong for Fede Spiga. Benza's now been handed the lead. And Fede Spiga is going to probably have a trip to the pit lane or something like that. So you just see, it's all went.
I don't think he picked up damage.
Yeah.
It seemed to only be a very big snap. Maybe he hit it with his rear, so there could potentially be some rear wing damage. But I didn't see any front wing damage But there could also be some slight front wing damage, non-visual. You can get 2% of wing damage nowadays on these games, and it does already impact you a lot, especially on a track like Jeddah. It is just so important to have a fully intact wing. Keke now getting within 2 tenths, 1.5 tenths of Damiano, not yet going for the move. Zane, meanwhile, tried to go for a move on LRB, but instead going straight on and losing a position to Altes. Altes now going for a part 2, switchback season. No, he will not. He is sticking behind LRB this time in the S section.
Yeah, man, just sticking behind, and that'll be the probably sensible choice. Just keep yourself in that position, and that'll be what Keke will be thinking right now. He was looking like P6, and he'd have to come back and get that final point. But now he's in P5, that's enough, and then P4 is there with after penalties, so he has a cushion to fall back on if necessary. So this is all in his hands now.
So I don't think Keke is going to push to his absolute limit. He knows what he needs to do. He's got 62% of ERS, so he's like, I don't need to burn all that much. And he knows Damiano has a penalty, but he is going to go for it right here. And Keke up towards P4. He already was there with the penalties with Damiano, but you always have the risk that someone can remove that penalty. He goes up towards P4 right now. It is what Keke needs. He is improving and stabilizing his championship lead and his championship victory, just being the overall champion more and more and more. Every single lap it's looking to be more secure unless he bottles it. It is still Keke. We know what Keke is like, and he can bottle it whenever he wants, anywhere he wants. The NLR driver absolutely jokes. He's a very social guy, but can he win it on track? That is the question right here, right now.
Yeah, that is the big question. What can he can Keke just hold this, as he has Damiano now at this point? That is P4 on track, so he doesn't have to worry about penalty removals. The question now for Keke is, will he be able to start pulling away and give himself breathing room, or is Damiano going to maybe stick there, and if he does decide to try fight back for the position, will that invite likes of Biga, Jesper, Damage, and so on and so forth into a fight? Meanwhile, Marcus, he's done very well here. He's went from around a P4 that was solid to now being P2 and sticking with Benza, who is has been leading. Oh, he's had a slight moment there, Marcus, and that leaves him a bit susceptible to Tom. However, it looks like Tom's a little too far away to do anything about it.
Yeah, they're all just controlling it now, and if Tom wants to challenge though for the victory, he does need to make that overtake on Marcus anytime soon. But Benz is a smart enough driver to know if Tom goes for that overtake, he's burned a lot of ERS, and he hopes that he's just got more ERS, or at least near equal ERS, so he can push. Once you fight, you obviously lose a little bit of time, and all Benza wants now is to not have another car in his DRS range. It will come down to all-round pushing if that is the case. But for now on, they seem to just be chilling. Virtual Intensity Racing Dark getting a 3-second time penalty now. He is in P12 on those hard tires that his AI actually pitted on. He's doing better than I expected he would. Simon on that alternative strategy, actually in 14th. He had to pit again. So did Dick, and so did Sancho Weez. And they're all hoping on another safety car, otherwise they're probably going to go towards a soft compound of tyre and go for that fastest lap. All eyes are currently still set on Keke, but not a lot is happening there. Damiano doesn't seem to have all the big interest to actually make a move. Who does have an interest to make a move is Spiga. He is burning the ERS right now, but Damiano just has a lot more ERS still, and seemingly also more straight line speed, so Spiga is unable to make a move further up the field.
Oh, Damage and Justbrand looking very, very close. Let's see if Justbrand would do anything. Damage already moving across. I don't know whether now Simon overs to him, not sure. You see Justbrand trying to get close as he can, but the ERS is almost on zero, and you just see Justbrand looking maybe trying to pressure Damage into a mistake. However, looks like Damage isn't faltering here at the moment, so he should be okay.
Yeah, and the chat is saying who's got more battery. I don't know if they want to actually know the battery, but it is eventually, at the end of the day, it's going to be a question of who has got the most battery. Isbrand actually gets a 3-second time bonus, so you can drop back a lot from that. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a battle who has the most battery, but it is you're able to easily gain battery, and you need at least 70 to 80% battery to have one lap when you can fully push qualifying. Like you saw earlier on in the race that Freddy Spiga hit that limit on the first lap after the safety car restart, and he burned around 70 to 80% of ERS. So I think that is what Benza is looking forward to gain all the way up to. Keke having a big snap. Whoa. And he somehow keeps the car alive, but Damiano's all the way up towards the rear end of his car, and he just used a little bit of battery and actually pulls alongside and now all the way up ahead of Keke. And that is not what Keke wanted, losing a position there, but he still has it on penalties. But now here's Fede Spiga in his mirrors. He is someone who has got amazing pace. We all know that. We've seen that. He's been leading this race for a long time. Fede Spiga burning the ERS, wanting to go for a move here. He doesn't find the gap around the outside.
Oh, looking at the switchback here, he's got a really nice one. He's gonna now try. Oh no! Simon oversteer thing for the paradigm, and it's now left from status quo. Keke will be relieved. He's kept that place, and he's kept that cushion he has at the moment. And that, I believe, is the yellow flag. It's a little phantomish. So nothing to worry about there. However, I believe we at this point are going to reach the point where safety cars are no longer possible by the game mechanics. So unless something is pulled out right this lap, we're not going to get anything else.
Benz is pulling away from Marcus, nearly outside of that DRS range. Marcus is forced to burn a little bit of ERS to keep up. It was Dick actually that spun and cost the yellow flag. He's either going to go to a soft compound of tire now or going to retire in the pit lane. I believe he's actually going to a soft compound of tire because he's not retired yet, and he's indeed going for that. He wants the fastest lap, but nearly it was already all done. Keke there, I think he should have just been more happy that the speaker didn't hit him and actually destroy his front wing. I think Keke, he couldn't afford to lose a position here, because then he has to do a lot less in Brazil that he would have to do here. He's now burning a little bit of ERS. He's going actually back towards P4. Burning that ERS, going towards the rear end of the Mercedes. Oh no, it's a little bit of contact there. Hopefully no wing damage there. Keke and Damiano side by side. Damiano trying to shut the door, still side by side now. Going towards the S section. Damiano burning more ERS. Who's got more balls? It is Damiano, because Keke knows in the back of his head, I've got a championship to fight for. And Damiano has absolutely nothing to fight for. Fede Spiga, meanwhile, dropped back all the way towards P11. I don't know what happened there, but there must have also been contact. Damage now up towards P6, and he is the one to pressure Keke.
Yep, so damage will now be there. Fede's now fallen from win to out of the points. So it's not looking great for Fede Spiga. However, he might have a chance to maybe salvage something here considering penalties. So Keke, he's going to be relieved. Out of all that, he's still P5, still with his championship in his hands. He just doesn't need to mess up here, especially as he would technically have to fall down towards P8 in order to actually lose out on sealing its day.
I think there's one more driver that can ruin this all for Keke, and it is VIR Ates. He is on 4 laps better tyres than Keke, and he's made his way all the way up to the field there, but there was a little bit of contact.
Oh no, never mind. That has got a very good exit. Marcus is now through. He was almost doing DRS. Now he's ahead. He won't have DRS, but that's because he's got the lead.
Yeah, and he does, but he does with a lot of lower battery percentage. You're just all distracted by that battle further behind. I did not expect Marcus to go for it that soon, if I'm being completely honest. There are different lines through the S section. Ben's taking more direct. Tom having that slight moment there. Again, yellow flags. It is Dirk. He is on a soft compound of tire. I hope it won't be any influence. it would be seen if Dick somehow manages to place his car right ahead of Marcus for the final lap, and Marcus actually gets the DRS.
Keke's fault now with DRS. So he's now vulnerable to damage and potentially ATIS. And what with less risks than just Brand.
You say he's vulnerable to damage. Maybe he picked up a little bit of damage. Remember that contact between him and Damiano, even the slightest bit of damage can cost you a lot of time here at Jeddah, because it is a street circuit. Benza though gonna probably be wanting to come back on Marcus here. He's not using any ERS, and he's just simply gonna be pulling back alongside and past him there. The outplayed member in the Red Bull there, making the overtake happen past Marcus, and Marcus now going to be burning back ERS to get back the lead, but he's not going to be doing it now, it seems like. No, he won't. Will Damage be able to get Keke? Keke is flashing, and Damage is realizing that. 2 more laps to go and a lot can be changing. The championship can change, and also the fight for the lead, it is within 1/10. Marcus nearly putting up the inside in the S section. He just seems to have a lot more overspeed. He just doesn't have the ERS advantage. And I wonder what Tom is going to do in this question, because he's got a lot of ERS still, but yeah, it just hasn't been in the mix yet. He's just been chilling, being back there and not really involved in the fight. I think we're going to have 2 incredible fights here on this final lap.
Yeah, I have to say, Tom, all the ERS, he needs to start burning some now, in a way. Maybe just a little bit here and there, give himself half an advantage, because Marcus actually will be under pressure, arguably, because Ben's just got enough ERS to defend, but Marcus doesn't have that much, and the guy behind him has got double. So it's a very weird balancing act he's going to have to perform. Meanwhile, Keke, he's lucky enough, he's got the DRS back now, so that will be a form of defense. So if he can just maintain himself here, that will be all he needs as we head on to the final lap of this Grand Prix. Yeah, damage
seems to really be going for it, burning a little bit of that ERS. Atis being very close behind, nearly going into the back end of Damage there. Damage is now fully up in the rear end of Keke, and he seems to be going for that move here. This is a fight, a theoretical P4 because of that penalty from Damiano, sticking his front wing in there, breaking a little bit later there. Damage going up the inside. Keke,
he's going to hang it around. Oh no!
Oh, contact!
Oh, that'll be investigated after the race, I assume. So Keke, it looks like he'll have this championship provisionally. However, I'd wonder if that will be reported, because
I personally doubt it. I think Damage went too early on the throttle and hit the side of Keke. He nearly screwed it up for himself. Keke then nearly spinning on the exit there. Also Suarez Federica. He is now fully out of it. But Federica's not important for now. It is the fight for the lead. It's the fight for the win. It is the fight for the whole championship. Arthur's being so close up the back of him there. Damiano's dropped back. I don't know what's happened there. But he would have had the penalty, would have dropped back either way. Artis has so much more overspeed. He wants to go for it there. Marcus and Tom are very close up there. Wood's gonna take it there. It's a bad exit from Marcus. Marcus loses the edge of the wing. Marcus is out. He's gonna lose it out there. Keke is gonna probably gain a position from it. It depends. He will. Keke up to 3rd. It doesn't matter how much he will lose now. Even if he loses that position from Artis.
Podium. And now Benza, he's gonna get this. Tom, he's had a lot of ERS here. He wondered should he have been in that position to overtake, but it's Benza who takes the race win. Tom will take it from 2nd. Is that actually just Keke down to 5th?
Yeah, but Eastmont has a penalty. Keke, I think, is your champion.
Yep, looks like he is our champion for now. Now, anyways, as I wonder, Damage ends up in 5th after all this. Zane 6th, it'll be a 7th. Marcus 8th. Yusbran 9th. Dark 10th. And let's say some drivers, like some Marcus, and also probably Federica, thinking what could have been. But for now, it looks like Keke is your F3 champion.
Yeah, Keke. I would say it's a brilliant season, but I haven't been here, so you would be able to give a better insight on that. I can mainly give an insight on this race. It was an absolutely astonishing fight between the top 3, and it isn't the top 3 that you would expect because of that moment Marcus had. He was going for it all or nothing, but in that quick left-hander, he just lost a lot of time already going into the corner, and he then went too early on the throttle trying to compensate for his time loss. Lost the rear, tried to catch it, and then lost it towards the other side into the wall, losing his front wing. He just lost way too much time from that, and Tom, who really saved up a lot of ERS, was unable to really gain that position in the end because of that spin. He did get within 2.5 tenths, but at the end of the day, it was not enough for him. I think someone also is having a puncture. It is an Alpha Tauri. I don't know who that was. It could have actually been Fede Spiga, but an Alpha Tauri had a puncture.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add Keke in here just to see if I can get an interview from him. And hope he also Benza. And then finally I believe it'll be FVR underscore Tom, however he mightn't join if he is from Australia, so that would be a bit early for him in the morning.
Yeah, to me, it's a massive respect for these Australians waking up every single time so early, and to be there and really perform on that level. For the Spiga, though, someone who really dropped off this race, but I predicted Benza to win, and he actually did. Benza, they're going 3 podiums out of 3 races in a row, this time without a fastest lap. And Keke does not want to give an interview, by the way, because he's not confident enough in his English. Boo, come on. But the rounding off the podium, it is Benza in P1 with Tom in P2 and Ates in P3. Ates coming all the way from P18. He had a really great race, making some good overtakes. And he would be one of my driver of the days. Keke there, with all the pressure, actually conceding that championship in there. He finishing in P4. Damage in P5. Suzanne in P6. LRB05 in P7. Parnell Racing Markers in P8. FVR Eastbrand and VIR Dark round out the top 10. You got Jacob, Simon, Damiano, Sanchois, Fede Spega, Dig, all finishing outside the points. And our DNFs are Lewis, Misipala and Royal Harvey.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add of everyone added I want hope to have an interview for, so I'll just try and see if we can get them.
Keke does not want to give an interview. I'll take the risk.
Okay, so unfortunately Keke won't be doing an interview with us today, but I will see now if we can get anyone else. So VR8s, I think Tom's mic's broken, so actually turns out, well, Benta can't, and I think that just leaves with Atis.
Benza saying he got a puncture in the last chicane.
That's
that would be absolutely unreal if he got a puncture in the last chicane. I have to
maybe
watch
that's
that
why
back.
Marcus, did he have that trouble because of that? Actually, don't think he did,
surely
but
not. There was no contact there. I'm trying to get Artis in. He was waiting in the waiting room, but we are actually on PlayStation this time, no ABS, because Evan Dalton was doing PSF2 this week.
yep. So that's why unfortunately I don't have the OBS. So just have to wait and see now if Atis wants to join us or not. Or if he can join us, actually.
And if that's not the case, it is also all right. Main thing this race was
We
Keke
started a
actually
party
winning.
actually, so uh,
Started a party. Well, I guess we'll join that.
let's find this for a second. Hello. We Atis, how are you? Ah, good. I can hear you. So, P18 to P3. Could you just sum up that race for us in a few words?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's my second race of the season because I actually don't drive, but I don't want to get banned, so that's why they told me I need to drive 3 races, so I need to drive the next one as well. And yeah, I was sleeping until like 2 hours before the race, and then I started an hour before, and this was my first race on this track ever, so I did not race any. There was no race on this track in on this game. The last time I drove on this track, league race was the last game. So yeah, I practiced 1 hour, and yeah, I was like, I don't care. I just want to drive a bit because I don't want to get a ban. And my pedals are not working, not really. And that's why I did not want to drive, but I need to. And that's what happened in the middle of the race, I think. Um, like I was like on the throttle, but I just had like 80%, and then I need to stick it out and again, that it works again. But I did that, and then I was like full on the throttle because I was on the straight and it was on the safety car restart. But I had like nothing. It was like I was rolling on the straight on the safety car restart, and I was like so confused. And then when it worked again, I pressed like 10% throttle, and it spun me immediately around because I had 100% because it wasn't calibrated. So they are still not working, and I was like, okay, I will retire the car. But then the safety car came, and I was like, okay, let me try it again. But I don't think that it will be a good result. Yeah, and then I was like, come on, let's have some fun. Let's start from the back, and I just tried to drive a good race, and yeah, I somehow overtook a lot of people, and in the end, I don't know how, but I managed to get like in the last 2 laps from P8 or something to P3 because I overtook 2 or 3 people, and the rest spun around or had some punctures, I think. So I just managed to tire well, and yeah, that was it.
Oh yeah, that's infinite podiums for P18, P3. Very good results. So I'll see. No, thank you for that. It was good to hear from you. There, see other drivers couldn't talk to us for their own reasons. But Timon, any questions for?
Not really. I just want to say it's the most German thing ever to say. I woke up 2 hours ago. It's only Germans can do that in my mind. You drove an incredible race on those fresher tires, making the strategy work. In the end, and with broken pedals, it was incredible. Apparently, Ben's our race winner had a puncture. You had people spinning, going around all the time. We had a champion being crowned. We had penalties. This race had absolutely everything. And the fact that you, with broken pedals, just decided I'll do P18 to P3, was it being your first race ever on this game, or not on this track.
Yeah.
It's a very great performance. So you should definitely be happy with that. And I wish you a good morning.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Oh
I'm
yes.
gonna go for breakfast now.
Anyways, yeah, that's it. We are. That's it for this round. Congratulations once again to Keke. Obviously, if there's any changes, we will let you know for the stream next week. Obviously, I do believe Evan probably would join me for the final round next week if things do turn out the way they are. However, thank you for myself and Typing for watching. So, once again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.